Putin is coming for NATO. Yep, I said it. Not from thin air, but verified reports and ground analysis of the situation.
Right now, NATO needs Ukraine as much as Ukraine needs NATO.
What the Ukrainians have achieved on the battlefield, they have fundamentally changed warfare. They have done it.
When the war began, most people around the world saw Ukraine as the clear underdog against Russia. Ukraine has proven those assumptions wrong. The resilience shown by Ukraine and its armed forces has surprised not only Putin, but also its NATO allies. European journalists have described Kyiv's performance as a masterclass in modern warfare, and that assessment is largely on target.
And above all else, I would argue that right now, NATO needs Ukraine as much as Ukraine needs NATO. Because having seen what friends of mine in Ukraine are doing with drone technology today, having seen their resilience and fearlessness, it is mind-blowing. And frankly, we need their technology, their know-how, their grit, as much, if not more, than they need us.
Ukrainian forces have not only struck Russian occupying troops, but have also reclaimed significant portions of territory lost after the full-scale invasion in 2022. This August has been particularly strong for Ukraine. Ukrainian forces have pushed Russian units back in parts of Donetsk, Dnipropetrovsk, and Zaporizhzhia regions. At the same time, Ukraine has inflicted serious damage deep inside Russia by targeting oil refineries and disrupting fuel supplies. Videos have circulated showing ordinary Russians struggling to find gasoline for their cars.
Just Dagestan, 328 rubles for 95 octane gasoline. Can you imagine? I am at a loss for words. I'm just confused. Imagine 328 rubles for 95. Just enter Dagestan and see 95 is 328.
Ukraine has also struck a series of major e-commerce and logistics warehouses. One recent attack hit a Wild Berries warehouse in the Podolsk area of the Moscow region. Wild Berries is Russia's equivalent of Amazon, and these facilities sit well inside Russian territory, including the capital region. At least 20 of the company's warehouses have been attacked since mid-July. These strikes hit the logistics network that supports both the Russian military and the daily needs of ordinary citizens. The pressure is mounting. The Russian economy is under real strain. Recently, the state corporation VEB dismissed its chief economist, Andrei Klepak, after his comments about the problems facing the Russian economy and the prospects of the war began circulating in the media. Speaking at an event organized by the Moscow Exchange's Nikitsky Club, Klepak said Russia would be unable to sustain competition with the West in a prolonged confrontation and predicted that the country would eventually face a social crisis. He stated, "We are falling behind. We are losing both the technological and economic competition in the world. And as I have already said, we are losing it not only to China and the United States in some respects, we are losing it to Ukraine," he continued. "We will not win this competition in a war of attrition," Klepak said. "We have this illusion that everything there will collapse. It has not collapsed, and it will not. Our costs are growing." He concluded, "I believe Russia will not fall apart, but I'm almost certain that we will arrive at a social crisis. Economically, we will not collapse, but we will continue to fall further behind with all the consequences that entails." And then he was fired. With economic and social pressures building, Putin appears to have hit the panic button. He is preparing for what some are calling one last high-stakes move, a potential direct challenge to NATO. The Russian president is fighting for political survival after setbacks not only in Ukraine, but also earlier in Syria and the Black Sea. With parliamentary elections approaching next month and public frustration rising, he is under pressure to change the narrative. Recent assessments from U.S. intelligence suggest Russia could attempt a limited direct action against Europe in the coming period. Moscow has also established a network of military launch installations along its western frontiers, positioning advanced drones capable of deeper strikes toward NATO territory. An investigation by The Telegraph, based on satellite imagery and leaked documents, indicates that Russian forces have built launch facilities at around 10 locations, some carved out of rural terrain, others using existing military compounds and commercial airfields. In response, NATO allies have increased their readiness. Poland's Deputy Defense Minister Cezary Tomczyk has said the country is preparing for the possibility of a full-scale confrontation with Russia and that Moscow could stage a major provocation within the next several months. "We are preparing for war, hoping that it will never begin," Tomczyk stated. Meanwhile, reports have confirmed the use of British-made drones in Ukrainian strikes inside Russia. These attacks are estimated to have caused more than 35 billion euros in economic damage. Russia has accused the United Kingdom of deliberately escalating the crisis. British Prime Minister Andy Burnham responded firmly, stating that London will continue to support Ukraine 100%, despite Moscow's warnings of consequences.
This is the UK doing what it has long said it would do, which is to support Ukraine 100% against this illegal war led by Vladimir Putin. We are providing support so that Ukraine can defend itself, and that's been the British position all the way through this conflict by previous Prime Ministers. It remains the case with me. We are not fair weather friends. We will be there in Ukraine's hour of need, and that won't change.
NATO itself has developed a concept of operations for land forces in the event of a large-scale Russian attack on alliance territory. The plan prioritizes suppressing Russian missile strikes, establishing zones that rely heavily on drones, and targeting Russian military logistics. One scenario under consideration involves a Russian attack on the Baltic states using missiles, drones, and ground forces. In such a case, NATO's first priority would be to neutralize Russian missile systems using fighter jets, missiles, and drones. The Kaliningrad region, where Russia has concentrated significant missile and air defense assets, would be a key focus. Along the borders with Russia and Belarus, planners envision creating an autonomous zone with minimal NATO ground troops, relying primarily on drones and unmanned systems to deter advances. If the offensive continued, the next phase could include strikes on military airfields, factories, bridges, and railways inside Russia itself. Some reporting has also mentioned the possibility of supporting opposition elements inside Russia and even creating an air bridge to deliver unmanned systems for attacks on military targets. Just yesterday, NATO conducted large-scale air exercises near Russia's Kaliningrad region, involving roughly 25 aircraft from various member states operating from Poland and the Baltic states. Separate activity was also recorded in the Skagerrak Strait between Norway and Denmark. These were unannounced wartime-style drills focused on the very area that would be central in any confrontation. With Putin seemingly preparing for a high-stakes move, NATO allies are already raising their readiness and signaling that they are prepared to respond decisively. What do you think about these developments? Share your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe for regular updates on the situation.